Hello and welcome to our HIV awareness project. My name is Isabella De La Paz.
My name is Monica Aguiluz.
My name's Kiara Patterson.
I'm William.
Alrighty, so first things first, we're going to go over the table of contents. So first, we're going to go over introduction, mostly about HIV and AIDS, how HIV spreads, and then the prevalence of HIV. Then we're going to go into the symptoms and risk, mostly like the symptoms, testing, and then the risk factors. Then some misconceptions, like common misconceptions about the actual truth behind them. Then the prevention and treatment, mostly like how to prevent HIV, AIDS, and then how it can be treated. And then HIV awareness days, learn about more resources to help more participate. And then we're just going to go into conclusion of how HIV and AIDS is a stigma. All right, so introduction. So HIV and AIDS awareness is important because many people still misunderstand HIV transmission, HIV treatment, and then what it means to live with HIV today. So these misconceptions can lead to fear, judgment, and discrimination. So our project focuses more on sharing science-based information with the general population in a clear, educational, and respectful way to help really spread more awareness on these subjects. Okay, so more about the disease. So HIV stands for human immune deficiency virus. It attacks the human system, especially CD4 cells, which help the body fight infections. And then AIDS stands for acquired immune deficiency syndrome and is the most advanced stage of untreated HIV infection. So HIV and AIDS are not the same thing. HIV is the virus, while AIDS is the late stage that can develop if HIV is not treated. Right, so a little bit more. So HIV affects the immune system. AIDS is the most advanced stage of HIV. And then HIV can be controlled with treatment. And then people with HIV can, in fact, live long, healthy lives with medical care. And then on the slide, we have a little picture to get more in depth of the difference between HIV and AIDS.
Let's look at how HIV actually spreads. It's important to know that HIV is only transmitted through specific body fluids from a person who has detectable viral load. These fluids are blood, semen, preseminal fluid, rectal fluids, vaginal fluids, and breast milk. For transmission to occur, one of these fluids must find a gateway into the body, entering the bloodstream through mucous membranes, damaged tissue, or direct injection. Because of these specific biological requirements, casual everyday contact like shaking hands, hugging, or sharing food carries no risk of transmission. Now let's look at the current prevalence of the virus to understand its impact. Globally, there are approximately 40.9 million people living with HIV, with certain regions bearing a heavier burden. Locally in the United States, an estimated 1.2 million people are living with the virus. The most critical takeaway here is that about 1 in 8 people with HIV in the US do not know they have it, because diagnosing cases is the crucial first step to stopping transmission and starting treatment. Public health initiatives have set an overall goal to raise the percentage of diagnosed individuals to at least 95% by 2025 and maintain that through 2030. Roughly 2 to 4 weeks after an initial infection, many people experience an acute flu-like syndrome as the immune system reacts. As shown on the slide, this can manifest as headaches, fever, sore throat, swollen lymph nodes, fatigue, muscle aches, rashes, chills, night sweats, mouth ulcers, or joint pain. However, symptoms may vary wildly from person to person, and some people show absolutely no symptoms at all during this phase. Because these signs look identical to a standard cold or flu, you can't rely on symptoms alone to determine if someone has HIV. Getting tested is the only definitive way to know. It's recommended that everyone between the ages of 13 and 64 get tested for HIV at least once as a standard part of routine healthcare, and more frequently if they have certain risk factors. There are several types of tests available, such as nucleic acid tests, antigen or antibody lab tests, and rapid tests, each with a specific window period, ranging from 10 to 90 days for the virus to become detectable. Ultimately, knowing your status empowers you to make healthy decisions to protect yourself and your partners. And early testing allows people to start treatment sooner. Anyone looking to take this step can easily find a free, confidential testing site by locating locatorhiv.gov.
Some risk factors that come with HIV are unprotected vaginal or anal sex. Sharing needles or syringes can also increase risk. Having other sexually transmitted infections can increase vulnerability as well. Not knowing your HIV status or partner status, and stigma can also increase the risk by discouraging testing and treatment. About 12% of people in the US with HIV are women, 24% of people in the US with HIV are African Americans, and 36% of people in the US with HIV are homosexual men. Some common misconceptions about the disease. One myth is HIV and AIDS are the same thing. HIV is a virus and AIDS is the advanced stage of untreated HIV. Another myth is HIV is a death sentence. The truth is, with treatment, people with HIV can live long and healthy lives. HIV spreads through hugging, sharing food, or toilet seats. HIV does not spread through everyday casual contact. Only certain groups of people can get HIV. Truth is, anyone can get HIV if exposed. And one last myth is you can tell if someone has HIV by looking at them. In actuality, many people have no symptoms, so testing is the only way to know. Some preventions can be using condoms correctly and consistently, getting tested regularly, not sharing needles or injection equipment, asking about PrEP or if you may be at risk, asking about PrEP if after possible exposure, and have open conversations with partners and healthcare providers. PrEP is an emergency medication taken after possible exposure, and it must be started within 72 hours of exposure.
As for treatment, antiretroviral treatment or therapy, which stands for ART, ART lowers the amount of HIV in the body, which is called the viral load, when taken regularly. ART can reduce the viral load until it becomes undetectable. U equals U means undetectable equals untransmittable. This means a person with HIV who keeps an undetectable viral load does not transmit HIV through sex. HIV awareness days. HIV awareness days help educate the public, encourage testing, support people living with HIV, and reduce the stigma. These awareness days focus on different communities and public health goals. You can learn more or participate through this website, which I have linked down below, and the picture is how that website looks with a couple of the different day options. To conclude, HIV/AIDS awareness is about more than learning medical facts. It is also about correcting harmful myths and misconceptions, encouraging prevention, supporting testing, and treating people with dignity. HIV is manageable with treatment, and people living with HIV can live long, healthy lives. The best way to reduce stigma is to replace fear with accurate information, compassion, the proper resources, and support. Here are all our references, all the sources we used, including where we got our images and where the template for our presentation came from. And thank you for listening to our presentation. Get tested, know the facts, and end the stigma.